Hello world, here we are on I-85 in Atlanta, driving north. I make this trip quite a bit. There's a lot of things going on in Atlanta traffic. I'll tell you, the further south I go toward Atlanta, I don't usually go south of Atlanta because I just haven't had any reason to. The worse the driving seems to get. It actually gets quite scary, you know, and people out there, people are doing crazy stuff. Did you know there are actually people out there who will purposefully cut you off or slam on their brakes or do some crazy shit on the road just to make you slam into the back of them, and then it's your fault and you have to pay them for the damage to their car, and then not only that, but they can claim that you like injured their neck or something and cause them chronic pain and then take you for a bunch of money. Isn't that wild? Like, I was in shock. My mom was telling me about this because there was a woman who tried to do it to her, but the insurance companies figured it out, thank God. You know, and I looked it up online, and there are people doing this, and I feel like it is dragged on by those commercials, those lawyer commercials where they're like, you know, call 1-800 blah blah blah. You know, like, if you've been injured in an accident, and it's not to say that there aren't people who have legitimately been injured in an accident, but to think that you would go and do that to someone just to try and take their money is absolutely unreal to me. Why would you risk everyone's health just for money like that? It's just wild to me. And so, of course, you know, making these long commutes, you know, sometimes it's 2 hours for me to get to school or to get home. I bought a dash cam, you know, and so the way the dash cam works is you can put an SD card in it, and it records, I think, in like 4-minute increments or something. And if you have to slam on your brakes, or if you hit something or anything, changing the G-force, that sort of thing, it saves that particular recording so that you can go back and you have evidence of it. Because I was like, look, buddy, if I can spend $100 and someone can't take my money, that means the world to me, because, you know, you just shouldn't try to go around taking hardworking people's money like that. I mean, if someone's actually in the wrong, that's one thing, you know, but knock on wood, I have never been in a car accident, so here's hoping that that won't happen to me and nobody tries to pull any crazy shit in front of me, you know. So because I travel on 85 a lot, you know, and for those of you in Atlanta, this is also now on I-75. There's this Peach Pass lane. So Georgia, the Peach State. Amen. I love my state of Georgia, minus our traffic, which just slowly kills me on the inside some days. Peach Pass is basically this thing that you can pay money into, and they, based on the traffic, up the price. So to travel in the fast lane, which you're stuck in because there's a double solid white line, except for predetermined points, you can pay a certain amount of money. Like today it's $13.95 to go all the way through the Peach Pass from start to finish on 85 North. I've seen it be like $18, $20 before. That's pretty crazy, you know. I think apparently sometimes people travel in this lane without the Peach Pass because somebody said the ticket's only like $25, but I feel like that's pretty risky, you know. I mean, they have cameras everywhere and you're not really following the rules. I mean, it says express lane, registered users only, you know, and shouldn't we really try and follow the rules? Anyways, I have a Peach Pass. I try not to use it all the time because I don't want to pay $13.75 both ways, you know. I already paid $6 and change this morning because everyone knows you're pretty much forced to be in a bigger hurry in the morning because no one wants to get up any earlier than they already have to, you know. But then you're kind of running late and you got to get in the car and you got to get going, you know. You got to make it to your destination, got to get to work because you can't be suffering any consequences there. And, you know, I mean, oh God, someone has really loud music. then that sort of leaves you with not being in a hurry to get home. But, you're in a hurry to get home because now you've been there to work and you're like, God, I got to get away. I got to get home. I got to shower. I got to relax. I got to hang out with my dogs, my cat. Everyone needs to be fed, I got to get stuff done. I got to study because I'm in school, but I try not to be in a hurry like that, because, I can't sacrifice a limb for this, give away a kidney just so I can get home faster, Just not worth it. Anyways, let's talk about some traffic things. So, like I've been ticketed, what was it, $110 or something for crossing the solid double white line in the state of Georgia. It's illegal to do that. I imagine it's legal to do that everywhere based on your handbook that we know everyone read when they were 15 and trying to get their driver's license. But I have been ticketed for that one time because no one would let me in, and then I missed the dotted line section, but apparently then you just have to wait forever. So thanks, Atlanta. Definitely got pulled over for that one time on the way to an exam, actually. I had left plenty of time early, so it was fine. I just wanted to get there so I could study before everyone got all crazy and loud, freaking out that they hadn't studied the right stuff or saying something wrong next to me. Ugh, please don't do that. And I can count on my hands every time I come to school or drive back home, people crossing this solid double white line. And no one ever gets ticketed. I think ever, in the past, what has it been? So, all July, August, September, 3 months now, I've only ever seen one person pulled over besides myself, and they were, already on the side of the road, so I don't even know if that was their offense or not. And I've seen some crazy stuff, people do it in front of a police officer. I've seen someone do it in front of a sheriff. And nobody pulls these people over because only Georgia State Patrol can pull them over. And, I don't know where Georgia State Patrol is during those times, except on, the last 3 days of the month when I drive to school and there's, the other day, I kid you not, I saw, I think it was 8 Georgia State Patrol officers having people pulled over, and I was like, God bless, finally, there's being some enforcement here. I just think that if I have to follow the rules, so should everybody else. We should all have to follow the rule, and there needs to be consequences, really bringing down the hammer here, because the other thing is, I'll say this from a safety perspective, and hence the reason for the rule is when you're flying down the Peach Pass lane, you can't have some guy who doesn't bother using his blinker, who doesn't bother looking, just yanking into the Peach Pass lane in front of you, Then you have to slam on your brakes and you hope you don't cause some giant chain reaction like a bunch of dominoes floating down 85, Clogging up traffic for everyone else, and then everyone's like, oh, look at this guy that clogged up the Peach Pass lane, Getting on the local news. Disaster. Ugh. Anyways, I've been so exhausted. I had to go to this event today, and it wasn't something that's part of my normal schedule. And whenever I have something like that, and they're like, oh, you have to do this extra thing that's not a part of your normal schedule, but you actually also still have to do the other stuff that now we've double booked you on. So then you're just kind of in a mad dash to make it all up, Just makes me exhausted, and I feel like I'm exhausted all the time. They say, in your 20s you should have all this energy, you're young, and I'm just like, no, I got no energy. I feel like I'm running on empty constantly. I don't know how these mamas do it. They're just chasing these toddlers around. They're always wandering off. Look at that guy who just crossed the solid double white line. Right in front of someone, cut someone off. Anyways, these moms that are just doing it. I just don't have the energy for it. The other day, I've never not once driven with my parking brake on, and I drove 2 miles down the road. It was pitch dark, super early in the morning, and I called my husband and I said, I have to come home. you know, my car is just bouncing around, clanging, making all this racket. You know, I can't drive down Atlanta like this. And I come home and I go to park the car in the driveway, and I realize I've left the parking brake on, and that's why my car was making all that noise. And my husband was like, wow, your car smells like it's about to catch on fire. And I was like, awesome, just great, because not only am I up to my eyeballs in student loans, you know, but, you know, I'm gonna break my car because I'm so exhausted from juggling all this stuff, you know. Thankfully, no damage to the car, you know. God bless that. But yeah, it's just exhausting to be in your 20s. You know, you just sit. You know what? It's just nothing but waiting around a lot. You know, you're waiting to move on with your life. You're waiting for your career to blossom. You know, you're waiting in traffic while following that career dream that you have. You know, and you're just waiting around constantly, waiting in line. So much waiting, you know, and then you're like, gotta pack a lunch or whatever because you spend all this time waiting and you have no money. So you're like, well, the last thing I want to do is wait in line for lunch and have to pay money for it, you know. So then you gotta pack your lunch, but that's like this whole thing. And then you're really taking up time on that, aren't you? Because you gotta either pack it the night before or get up early and pack it. And, you know, my husband and I differ on that. He likes to pack it the night before, which makes sense to any sane person, I guess. I am definitely a morning of packer. I'm the person who gets up at the same time that I would if I packed the night before, so that I can rush through my routine, be running late, and have to throw my lunch together, inevitably forgetting silverware or something vital to the lunch process, you know? And then you get to lunch and you're like, great, I packed this lunch, it's gonna be amazing, you know? But I don't have any silverware, and of course, for some reason, there's no silverware available anywhere near me, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, can I eat it with my bare hands? This is a real situation. You've never been more annoyed at yourself than not having access to silverware and having a packed lunch, you know? I mean, it's just reality. I'll tell you this, folks. We're going to be getting in the Peach Pass lane here, see? This is a dotted white line. We're going to drive around this traffic. So my friend gave me a 4-gallon BioCube fish tank today. She said she hadn't used it in like 2 years. I'm so excited for it. You know, I love animals of all kinds. You know, we have a cat, Fifi, she's 10. We have 2 dogs. Maggie May is just over 1. And Pixie is 7. We're actually getting a new dog in, I guess, January. Her due date is October 31st. The mom's due date is. And it's going to be a golden retriever. So our other dogs are mixes from the Humane Society. Go Rescue! Woo! Maggie May is a Great Pyr mix. She weighs about 60 pounds. And Pixie is some sort of Pomeranian mix. And she weighs about 12 pounds. She's bigger than a Pomeranian, like bone structure wise. And then Fifi is a Turkish van mix. Awesome cat. I mean, just the most perfect cat you could possibly imagine. They're all gorgeous animals, of course, because they're mine. They're the best animals in the world, I'm sure of it. But I also love fish, so I have a 54-gallon fish tank and a 75-gallon fish tank. They're both freshwater now because I tried that saltwater thing, and let me tell you, people, if you want an easy-to-care-for pet, you need to adopt a cat. And do not declaw these animals or do anything crazy. I promise you, if you just give them a little attention and a safe place to be, they will be the most amazing creature that has ever entered your life. Do not get a fish. You know what gets me the most is the people at PetSmart that buy the fish bowl. I'm like, what are you putting in there? You know? Like, would you want to be in a house with no oxygen? Because that is what a fish bowl is. There's no filtration, so it's basically like sitting in a house with no oxygen and a giant pile of your own poop. Okay? That is what a fish bowl is. just say no to fish bowls. Just say no to goldfish mostly. I mean, people think you can put these goldfish in this fish bowl. There's no worse combination than a goldfish in a fish bowl, because goldfish produce a lot of waste and they need lots of space to filter out that waste. They definitely need filtration, and every fish needs oxygen, okay? So just say no to fish bowls. That's my rant on that. Anyways, my friend, she gave me this 4-gallon BioCube tank. So I've had a BioCube tank before. It's a really nice brand. Mine was for saltwater a long time ago. And I tried to dabble in the saltwater thing, but that is just not for me. I mean, corals are out completely because the water chemistry on that is absolutely insane. I don't want any piece of that. Okay, and then even if I get the hardiest of fish, something eventually goes wrong, like overnight. I mean, I got everything. I got the reef octopus and the E-Shops protein skimmers on my 2 tanks. I had E-Shops sumps on my tanks. I had overflow boxes. I had all of the rock, you know, the live rock. I had just the right kind of sand. Everything was just right, and inevitably things always go wrong and things start dying, and it's absolutely devastating because these creatures come from the ocean. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna hurt the earth anymore. You know, I've got to get out of that because I have a lot of success with freshwater tanks. I just think that's more my zone, makes more sense to me. Not so many numbers and things that I have to keep track of, because I'm convinced the most complicated pet you can own is a saltwater fish. I am so convinced. And it's true that it's easier to manage a bigger tank, but that also means that you have to carry like 10,000 jugs of water. So then you have to make the water in a giant trash can in your garage, but nobody really wants to do that either. So in the end, that's out. You know, I could talk to you all day about fish, but the most important thing is that I now have this 4-gallon BioCube fish tank that's going to be awesome, because I'm going to put it in my cat room, which is what I call my office, and Miss Fee, my cat, is going to be able to watch the fish, which is one of her favorite things. Very excited about it. I just love fish. It's just so nice to watch them, you know. Like, let me tell you. So my husband, he installed a TV in my cat room recently because he likes to watch football. He likes to cheer on UGA on Saturdays and the Falcons on Sundays. But the thing is, that's not all he watches. He watches like all of the games, you know? And then it takes all this time over the weekend to watch these games, and he watches them downstairs. And I feel like I don't have access to the TV, you know? And I can't watch it in the bedroom because I have this like phobia of being in the bed in your outside clothes, which, I mean, really people should read the science about it. It's pretty much fact that you shouldn't be in the bed in your outside clothes. So I can't watch it in the bedroom. And nobody wants to spend all day in their bedroom anyway, or you people shouldn't, okay? Because that's not good for your circadian rhythm cycles and your sleep hygiene. No good, people. Anyways, so he installed a TV in my cat room, and it's fantastic. I get to watch my shows in there. You know, my cat actually, she knows me so well. I went to watch my first TV show on it yesterday, Law & Order SVU, of course, you know, one of my all-time favorites. And she immediately rolled over on her side and rolled over on her back and closed her eyes because she said, yeah, humans watching TV, we're in this for the long haul. I love TV. I do. I love it. I am definitely pro Netflix, pro Hulu, anti-commercial, you know, all that goodness. I really kind of struggle with live TV because it's like so many options and things. It's like I kind of want to do TV like I do shopping, you know, like I just want to know exactly what I'm going to go and watch, and then watch only that, and then it's over. You know, I don't want to get distracted by like all that other stuff going on. Yeah. So I was on YouTube on the TV last night. That my husband was showing me that. And you can find saltwater tank videos that go on for hours. And I was like, wow, who actually needs a saltwater tank when you can just turn this on your TV? It's beautiful. It's just as relaxing, I feel like, you know? And you don't have to deal with all the maintenance. You're not killing organisms. I mean, it really is an all-around fantastic thing. So I'm very excited about the 4-gallon fish tank, just to bring that full circle, you know, since we spent so much time not talking about that after I brought it up. What else can I tell you? There's not really much going on right now besides being exhausted. Went to Publix the other day. You know, my husband and I were trying to come up with some new foods to eat for dinner. God, no one ever tells you when you're a kid and you're like, ugh, Mom, I don't want to eat that. That when you're a grown-up, you're going to have to plan meals all the time. I mean, in this cooking thing, really, you know, so much can go wrong in the kitchen, and then if you use your supplies and you can't replace them, that's a real situation, you know? Ugh, takes so much time to cook, and then you have to find recipes. My husband wants me to find recipes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do it, you know? I just feel like, you know, these recipe sites always have so many ads on them, and they're all like spread out in giant fonts and stuff, and that's really no good. And then I don't know what I'm reading. You know, there's all these ingredients that I don't understand, and I'm like, do we have that stuff? Is that something that you can buy at Publix? You know, because if it's not, then this recipe probably isn't for me, because I already loathe cooking. I'm definitely not seeking ingredients from multiple grocery establishments. That's just not going to happen. That's not a reality. And sometimes stuff looks really good, but it just doesn't taste good. You're like, ugh, is it because I made it? Or is it because it just sucks? You know? Look at this guy just driving around, no blinker, cutting people off. I just can't even when I'm in the car. You know, you just kind of have to zen out in Atlanta and say, you know what? I'm not going to let that get to me. You know? That's how he's going to be, but I'm not going to be that way. You know? I'm not going to drive that way. I'm not going to react to it. You know, and I'm not going to lay on the horn for a good 10 seconds unless you actually almost kill me. In which case, you're definitely getting the horn. Okay? Did I tell you about my dash cam? You know, for that exact reason, I have to protect myself from people out there, crazy people. You know, my mom told me, because there's this lady who tried to do it to her, that will actually stop short or not obey the current traffic signals and things, or cut you off, or do all kinds of things to make you slam into the back of them. And then they lie about what happened, and they try to take additional money from you for like chronic neck pain or something, and you're like, what? What is this lady talking about? You know? Or man, could be anyone. And luckily for my mom, the insurance companies, when they did the investigations, the lady's story didn't add up to the damage to the vehicles, and she had actually had a bunch of damage to the car already from like things completely unrelated to my mom. And so I feel like, you know, justice came through there as it should, you know, as was appropriate for the situation, and that made me happy. But it terrified me that there are people out there in the world doing this stuff. You know, you really gotta watch yourself. So I got myself a dash cam, and I'm like, okay, I can spend $100 on that if that's gonna prevent me from getting in a car accident that somebody else purposefully caused to take my hard-earned money that I don't even have yet because I'm up to my eyeballs in student loans. You know? Because it's just mind-boggling to your situation, and that kind of thing happens. So I definitely recommend a dash cam, especially if you're making long commutes regularly. Now we're in that part of the slowdown, even though I already got out of the Peach Pass lane. We're in that part where the Peach Pass ends, you know? So now everything's gonna come to like a creeping halt. Can you see the pain in my eyes? Do you see it? Do you see the pain in my eyes? Really, I just want to go home and take a shower and put on like my comfiest pajamas. Make sure it's not freezing in my house, which it was at the butt crack of dawn this morning when I got up. I was like, wow, it is 68 degrees in here because we have it still on cool and not heat. And I had to pump that heat up because I was freezing my butt off, you know? Yeah, I'm going to pump the heat up if necessary, you know? I mean, it's later in the day now. Hang out with my dogs, my cat, in my clean pajamas, and probably a really comfy sweatshirt or robe. And just chill, man. And probably make myself a grilled cheese. I feel pretty passionately about grilled cheese today, you know? Yeah. And I'm just gonna hang out. Probably watch like some Father Brown on Netflix if you haven't checked it out and you're into British TV shows with like quirky comedy. I mean, I find it really convenient to watch when I'm just hanging out and want to like drool in front of the TV and not do important things that I should be getting done because I'm already exhausted, you know? No, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then eventually I'm going to get around to knitting again, you know, in case you have seen my knitting video. I still have not worked at all on the blue blanket, but I don't know what stitch I'm going to use. So I don't want to like commit to the wrong thing, especially when I'm tired, you know. I don't want to make any big decisions like for your knitting project when you're tired. Definitely don't want to make any decisions. And on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. That's 28 minutes basically of me just rambling on about random stuff in my life. And we're still not anywhere close to being home. But I'm going to let you go and call my mom back, who called me before I started this video. Shout out to all the moms out there. I love my mom.